Okay, so I hope like everyone has Power BI desktop on their system and they have access to Power BI web service, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I mean, everybody has that, which means if you don't have, then you can just register with your official email address and kind of create a profile on app.powerbi.com, and then you will have access to web service of Power BI. Why I said that you need to have access to Power BI web service, because once we deploy everything the way we deployed yesterday, so let me open yesterday's workbook only, what we created. Okay, here we go. So the dashboard or the reports basically we just kind of created yesterday are part of this particular workbook, and we published it by just clicking over here. Now I'll just continue from this place where we kind of publish our workbook to Power BI web service. In web service, actually, these are the two workspaces or destinations what we have right now. I'll talk about that what it is, and can you have more than these two, or what is the maximum number of workspaces, right? So we'll discover one by one these places. So I'll just kind of when go ahead and just click on it. So it says you already have a data set named this. Fine, I would replace it because I wanted to get you this window wherein it says that the workbook has been published. From there, we'll continue to the web service. Okay. So as soon as like publishing to Power BI, you get this success sign, and then you have these two options over here. Like open the workbook what you have just published. Uh, the extension of this workbook what we have created is PBIX. PBIX. And the another option what you get is get quick insights. So we'll look at one by one all these things. First of all, I'll just click over here so that we can see the workbook what we have deployed to Power BI web service, right? So this was the place wherein we saw yesterday that this is my actual workbook what we deployed. We can go to full screen, we can see, navigate, we can interact with the filters and all, right? I'm not talking about the filters what you see here, filters. I'm talking about the filters what you get within an individual sheet. Like if you select a government segment over here, then the data automatically gets filtered into other sheets. That's the filter which I was talking about at this moment. So over here, I mean, if you look at this particular portal, right? Though this is the workbook what we have deployed, but if I'll go to home page, we'll start from here, right? So on home page, you get all your recent workbooks, recent data sets, recent data workflows, what you create in Power BI. So for example, this is your new dashboard. This is the workspace, right? I'll talk about that, what it is, what the workspace is. Then, like again, you got the dashboard. There are reports. Now, what is the difference between dashboard and report?
In dashboard, we have only in one page we will show all the important visualizations. Whereas in reports
Mhm.
we have multiple pages.
Okay. No, even here, I mean, if I let's say just click on this trend analysis, okay, this is only one sheet, fine. Uh, this is also a report, right? If I click over here, we have multiple sheets within it. I mean, with multiple charts within it. So that definition is wrong, correct?
Yeah.
Right. Now, let me tell you the difference over here. Anything what we create, anything what we create in Power BI and publish that here will be known as report. Whether it can have multiple charts or multiple kind of sheets, it will be known as report. The dashboard is basically what you create in Power BI web service itself. That means in order to create the dashboards, you don't need Power BI desktop. Getting my point?
Yeah.
Right. And that is one of the reason that why the color over here, like wherever you see this green color, that is basically talking about the dashboards created using Power BI web service only. Right. So these are your reports. This is the dashboard. Now in my workspace and text workspace is the place where we work. Right. Now over here, if you see in the left pane, you got workspaces, then you got my workspace. Now my workspace is kind of limited to me, to my user ID, right? Because I'm logged in with this ID at this moment. So this is my space. Whatever I will deploy, by default, it will come here, right? Whereas workspaces, you can have n number of workspaces over here. It's a test workspace right now. If you want, you can create another workspace. The good thing with the workspaces, your workspaces is you can share these workspaces with other people also. So what I mean, like as a Google Drive, right? What happens? You put some document there and you share with anybody. So whoever you share with, they can access the same depending on their right. So in the same way, the workspaces, like there are number of, you can say, I mean, in another language or layman term, I can say that these are the shared folders related to different projects, which are, which can be shared with different people, with other people also, and you can also like be part of someone else's workspace. So other people can share with you, you can share with other people. So this is the sharing or collaboration area wherein whatever you create, you share that, right? But anything what you create here in my workspace, that will be personal to you. Other people cannot see that, correct? So this is your private workspace and this is the shared workspace. And under this, basically, I will not say this is the collection of shared workspaces. And under this, you can create as many workspaces you want. If you are part of some other workspace, that will also show up here, right? Let's say you have not created, but someone else has created, and they have provided access to you, so you can be part of that workspace will also appear here, right? So that's a kind of difference between your workspaces and my workspace. Okay. Now the next thing what you get here, apart from workspaces, reports, and dashboard, Power BI itself shows you some of the recommended apps. So these are the apps which are there in Microsoft actually, right? Uh, Recently created. So it gives you kind of ad. It's an ad only because these are the recommendations given by Microsoft. So you can look at these apps. If it is useful, you can try and use those. So as of now, I'll not go through all of any of these. Below this, there is another area which is called learn how to use Power BI, right? Uh, See, for the people who are very new to Power BI, for them, it's a great place to kind of explore Power BI capabilities. You can, learn many things over here. Uh, you can go ahead. The most important thing, like these are all videos. So you can go through these videos and learn about the Power BI. So it's again free of cost. If you have this account, you can explore these in the learning section. Now, if I go to favorite option, it shows you anything what you add in the favorite. So maybe from the home, let's say you got this star, right? So if you click on any of the stars, it's going to be kind of added into your favorite section. That's the only use of this section. You can add your most frequent, the objects what you use, or you can add any of the favorite or kind of, useful dashboards over here. Recent, as it says, the recent activity. Over here, if you see, these last two are the dashboard, these two are the report, then workspace. Okay, fine. Nothing specific over here. But yes, let's say this is the report. If you go here, you got these several icons over here. First one is like view usage metrics report. So usage metrics means how frequently people are going to use this report. So that kind of traffic report you can see. Let's say views per day, unique views per day, distribution method, how we have shared it, right? Within the workspace, or we shared just the URL, platforms, web or mobile, report pages. So like there are select all, maybe only one page is there in this report. So it gives you those number also, like total views, total viewers, and total view marks, sorry, rank. So all this information it shows views by user. So it gives you that information also. Correct? It's a metric report, uses metric report for a particular report. For this, I mean, you need not to create it. Power BI itself creates it for you. So you can just click over here and see the insights out of it. Then the second option is to share your report. So again, sharing, there are several mechanisms what we talked about. How can you share this? So over here, the sharing option, what you get, see, this is the report link. You can share this URL with anybody, they can access this report. Another way of sharing this can be, you just add the email address over here, and that person will get added into your this workspaces, right, under the workspace, and they can see this report by going to this workspace. For access, see, as of now only I'm the one who's added over here. You can add other people also, and then you can see the permission what a particular user has. Right now there is only one user, so it's owner, but as of now, as soon as you'll add other users, the number of permissions will be different. Names of permissions will be different. So you can manage your access, security, and permission from Power BI web service. Now let's move further. So the third icon what you get here, this is analyze in Excel. So whatever data source or data set is used to create this report, if you do like analyze in Access, it is going to download a Excel add-in for you. I think I have not downloaded in my system. It will open the same data set in Excel, and further you can do your analysis in Excel. Yeah, I got it. Last time also there was this problem. You can try this option on your system and let me know. I will also fix this issue on my system so that we can explore this option. Okay. It will simply open or make the connection into Excel of the same data set. Okay. Now the next option is quick insights. So when we deployed our Power BI, see over here, there was another option called get quick insights. So this is the same option. You can go from here also, or you can directly go to Power BI web service, and from this place also you can go for get quick insights. So I'll just click on that in a moment. Okay, I'll just click on this get quick insights. What happens as soon as you click, it will take few seconds, or maybe sometimes depending on the data size, it might take few minutes also. And then accordingly, I mean, after it kind of completes the processing, it will show you another page which will have different charts. So for example, it says insights are ready. You have insights for this particular report. So I'll say view insights. And now, depending on that data, the data set which was used to create that report, keeping the same data set in mind, right? Power BI has created several charts for you. So you can see like this is the correlation and scatter plot between units sold and sales price. You can go down. It shows you another chart. For example, average of sales price by segment, then discount by segment, discount by discount bands. So several charts have been created automatically by Power BI web service. Correct? Now the good thing over here is, if you want, you can add these charts and combine and create one common dashboard, right? Because these are the quick insights, not necessary that you will be using all of these. Looking at your requirement, your business needs, you can select some of these and you can create a dashboard, right? The dashboard for which you kind of, didn't do anything, right? Let's go ahead and kind of add them into dashboard. So what I'll do, let's say discount by segment. I'll pin this to dashboard. Now it is asking whether you want to kind of pin into existing dashboard or you want to create a new dashboard. For now, I'll just select new dashboard and 9. Okay, so we'll create a dashboard, give it a name.
The data will be based on the report which we created. With that data will be this
Yep, there would be same data. This is utilizing the same data from that report. Okay, so we just created, pinned one chart into the new dashboard what we created. So let's go ahead and I'll add a few more charts there. So this was the dashboard, existing dashboard now because we just created it. I'll pin this also there. We'll look for some other visualization also. So I believe this one I can add. We can add this also. Okay, so as of now, I added 4 charts there. Now let's go to dashboard. So over here, if you see, these were the 4 charts which I added into this dashboard, right? It says discount by segment. It's an average of sales price by segment, count of distinct band, and then you have count of average sales, discount average of sales price. So you can see maximize it and you can see your dashboard. So this is how, like using Power BI web service and quick insights, we kind of, in few minutes only, we kind of created one dashboard. Now, not only this thing, Power BI does understands AI and NLP. Do you know what is NLP?
No.
Okay. NLP, I mean, if you know a little bit Python or maybe AI, NLP is basically natural language processing, right? The language what we speak is generally called natural language in terms of computer language. Now, Power BI understands our language over here. So what it does, you can type anything over here, it will create the chart for you. Correct? So what I mean is, let's say we have over here, you have month number and discount band, right? Or if you know your data well, you will know a couple of other things. So let's say over here it says, okay, let me just exit for a moment. It says ask a question about your data. Now let me type one question. I will say pie chart for discount and segments. Right? I just written this language over here, and Power BI has created a pie chart for you. Right? If you want, just pin this visual to your existing dashboard. It will be part of your dashboard now. Right? Similarly, let's say you created one pie chart. Now let's create, let's say, bar charts for date and profit. Not sure if there is a profit field. Yes, it has. So I just written this language. Now it is creating your bar charts. Let me change it into columns. Column charts for date and profit. Right? So you can just pin this visual also into your map. Now, so far, we added couple of charts. Earlier there were 4 charts. We added 2 more charts. Now there are total 6 charts into that dashboard. With that, let me do one once more because I wanted to go through one more option which you used to get here. Let's say map. I'm not sure whether we have a map field over there in our data. So map for profit. I'm not sure map is there. That's why. So that particular field has to be there into your data, then only it will understand. If it is not there, it will not understand. So I believe there is no geolocation field into the data set which we are using, right? So I'll just exit from this at the moment. We'll go back to the dashboard. And over here, if you see, you are getting all six dashboard, 6 charts into this dashboard. You got donut, you got bars, then you have a trend, you got scatter plot, then you have pie chart, and you have column charts. Correct? So we are kind of able to create a dashboard using the quick insights of Power BI web service and by asking questions to our data. Correct? Hope this makes sense to you.
Yeah.
Right? Now, let me just go back to my workspace and we'll see here. If I go to home, you can see here the new dashboard what we created here. It appears automatically here. And from here, you can just click over here and you can again go back to the same dashboard. So that's how you
Okay,
can navigate.
okay, so I have a doubt here. So you create a dashboard using the insights which we got for a particular report, right?
Avinash, there is a lot of echo. I can't understand properly.
Now, hello.
Yeah, little better, yes.
Okay, so you created a dashboard using the insights of a report, right?
Can you please type your question?
Okay.
I mean, I'm not sure whether other people are able to understand, but for me, it's really difficult. Can you just put your question into the chat window? Yeah. Right. So it was the insights only. Okay. So creating a report or dashboard without insights on Power BI web service will be see you can ask question to your data and then you can use without going to insights, right? So if I go to my dashboard, you see here the last two charts, these were not out of insights. This is the question which I asked. For first four charts, these were out of insights, and last two were, that is the question which I asked to the data, right? So these are the two modes through which you can kind of create charts over here. Now there is one more way also. I'll talk about that. There is one more way also, but using quick insights, this is how you will create. The other way, I'll tell you that how to create, because you will get exactly the environment what you get into Power BI desktop. So I'll share that also. Now, what I was saying, that from your dashboard main page, you can navigate there. Now let's go to, yeah, this segment again. So we were here basically. From here we get into all that flow, quick insights. Then after this, you got another icon called settings. If you click on settings, you get the names and then several few things related to like personalized visuals, comments, cross report detail, drill through. So all these options. I'll cover these things through the Power BI desktop. We'll talk about that how can you create drill down into different objects what you use in a Power BI a desktop or in your report, right? So I'll just cancel this for a moment. Then you have another option like save a copy. So it is basically just duplicated, creating a copy of your workbook or report. So I think that's pretty much about the options what we get here. Now, depending on the object which you are working on, you get different icons. So these icons were as a part of your report. In dashboards, you get only these three icons, wherein it's a metric report, sharing, and setting. Data sets, you don't see anything over here. I'll talk about the data sets also as we go. So app, will leave it shared with me. I'll leave it at this moment. For learn, it's basically kind of for you to explore more about Power BI. So you can see things like what you can learn in Power BI web service, then documentation related to Power BI, and participate in the Power BI community, so that people can, the community is the place where people will keep sharing their problems, use cases, right? The new learnings. So you can also go through that and maybe interact and learn more about it. So for now, we'll just go ahead and kind of go to workspaces. So text workspace, under here, I have two data flows. Now, if you see the icon of data flow is like, the related tables, you can say. What is data flow? So as of now, we talked about report, we talked about dashboard, right? We talked about workspace. What is data flow? Any idea?
No, don't have any.
Okay. If I say what is data set, then what would you say?
Yeah,
Mhm.
data set is a source from where we take, because an Excel sheet may be one data set, or some data from the SQL server may be a data set like that.
Right. So actually, even the answer what you gave is a little, I would say the place where you get your data from is called data source, but the data which you get, that is called data set. What I mean, let's say if you took 1,000 rows of a table, right? So those 1,000 rows will be known as data set, but the place where you have taken this data from will be your data source,
So is it like a collection of data?
right? Now over here, what we are talking about is data flows. Now data flows, Have you heard about a concept of pipeline, data pipeline?
No.
Right. If you explore AWS, Azure, or any cloud services tools, right, we create pipelines over there. This data flow, okay. If you go for any ETL tool also like SSIS and all, or maybe Alteryx, we create workflows or data flows there. So that basically talks about that you get your data from different sources, then you kind of transform that, and then you take it to the destination or maybe for the reporting purpose. So which means it is a complete steps of processes or process of steps wherein you connect to your data sources, get that data, then you kind of transform it, and then you kind of load it for your maybe analysis purpose or reporting purpose. That's a complete flow what you follow. Now same here, the data flow is similar. So over here, uh, actually these are the two data flows what we created in order to get data from our on-prem solution. So orders, if I click over here, can't edit, fine. Okay, so it will show you that all the fields what we have got from our data source, right? And then it has information like edit entry. It will simply give you option to kind of edit those fields in terms of Power Query and the transform screen what we used to get into Power BI desktop. So you remember this screen, right?
Yeah.
Right. In the Power BI desktop also we got the similar screen.
Yeah.
Wherein we had all these options. We had transform, add column, view, and then we were getting our data to kind of see the data types and all. So it's a similar kind of screen wherein you get the all the definitions related to your data what we connected to. So we'll as we go we'll be creating data flows also, and then we'll see like how to create and modify that from here. Save and close. Then you got another option like apply ML model. We'll not be able to apply this ML model at this moment because we are in pro environment, pro trial, and this ML model will not be enabled over here, right? It needs a specific capacity and a premium license for it, correct? Then under settings, the same option, description and few details. Then incremental refresh. Okay. Uh, Two questions. Number one, refresh, and number two, incremental refresh. What are these?
Refresh
We are
means
talking.
if they keep on refresh data, the data being refreshed and the visuals which were there and they will get a refresh as per the data we get. And the incremental refresh, I don't have any idea because scheduled refresh we know something, incremental don't have any idea.
Okay. So yes, first one is correct. Like refresh. So you kind of keep getting the real time data, and your visuals will have the latest data in your reports or dashboards. Incremental refresh runs on top of your scheduled refresh, right? So scheduled refresh, as it sounds like, you can schedule the refresh, and maybe if you want like today, tomorrow, whenever you want, accordingly your schedule will run, and then you can refresh your data. Maybe every hour you can set up that schedule basically, correct? Now at the place of refreshing the complete data, but what I mean is, let's say you work in a bank, and what happens like every month we refresh our data. So would you like to kind of refresh last 10 years of data every month, or would you like to kind of maximum just refresh current year's data and leave last 9 years data as it is? What would be your preference?
We will just refresh the current year's data and do the last 10 years.
right? So we can, what will happen, right? After a year, generally there would be no change in the historical records, correct?
Yeah.
If there is no change in the historical records, so what is the use of refreshing those records also? We just leave those records as it is and just refresh the latest data, latest or maybe the current year's data, correct? So incremental refresh is that only. Incremental refresh is like you just refresh the latest or new records, and historical records you leave as it is, right? For that, you need to identify some fields in your data. Maybe in this use case, it could be year. That current year's data will refresh and previous year's data will not refresh. Sometimes you can take some IDs, like primary key or some ID, let's say if you have in your table, which can identify the records, right? Or sometimes using joins and all, you can come up with some logic so that you identify your new records which are supposed to be refreshed, correct? So that type of refresh is called incremental refresh. It will not refresh the whole historical lot of data. It is just refreshes the latest or required less data set. But yes, it will update once it is refreshed, it will update into the main data set what you have created. So over here, see how the hierarchy works. We are talking about data flows right now. So data flows will help to get the latest data into data set. Once data set has the latest data or new data, then you can create a report on top of that. And after report or quick insights, you can create your dashboards. So that's the step or hierarchy what you follow. First of all, data flow will come in picture. If you are in Power BI web service, then data set will come in picture, and then third, report will come in picture. But if you are in Power BI desktop, then you can directly connect your data sources. So data source or connection will first of all. Then you create data set. Data set means you get your data into Power BI desktop, and then you start creating the report. So that's a hierarchy in Power BI desktop. And in Power BI web service, the hierarchy will be like data flows first of all. So fine, let's say if I click on incremental refresh, see over here, if I turn it on, it says choose a field basis which you want to kind of set up the incremental refresh. The time period or maybe number of rows which you want to kind of refresh. Then refresh from the past, detect the data changes, basis some field. So all these options are there. You will be only able to configure this if you know your data very well, right? So before setting up or doing anything like this, first of all, you understand your data, like what is your primary key, what is the foreign key, which are the which field identifies the unique record, or if you are doing incremental refresh, which field is going to be impacted. So you need to have that information, then you can move forward with the incremental refresh. Okay, now let me just go back once more, a step back. So these were the data flows. This is again schedule refresh. So I think yesterday somebody was asking like how to kind of refresh, maybe create schedules, right? So this is the basically place wherein depending on your data type and all, you can create the or schedule the refresh. So like it is daily, you can select the time zone when you want to kind of refresh it, right? You can add time also here. And if you want to do it weekly, which day you want to do it and at the time. So all these options are there in Power BI web service. Okay. Now, one more thing we get generally data sets. So we talked about report, we talked about dashboards, we talked about data flows. Now let's talk about data sets, the important part. So over here, under your workspace, test workspace, right? You have dashboards, you have reports, you have workbooks, and if you go down, you get data sets and data flows. So under data flow, we have order details, we have sales data and all. But under data set, I don't have anything as such. Okay, I do have. So sorry, I don't have anything. It says you don't have data sets. Fine. So which means in workspace, I don't have anything. In test workspace, I don't have anything. But if I go to my workspace, okay, this is my workspace now. And under my workspace, you have dashboards. So these many dashboards are there. Then workbooks, you don't have any. And then you have data sets. So under data sets, these are the data sets. See, as of now, I have clicked on these data sets, right? You see an exact screen what you get in Power BI Desktop. This is the area where you can create your charts. You can take visualizations, filters, fields, and you can add pages. Correct? It sounds similar, looks similar. This is also the place wherein you can create your reports. Right? Because data set has data, it gives you flexibility to create your charts and all. And then you can obviously go ahead and deploy, save this. So automatically this chart or dashboard, whatever you create here, will be available. Now, out of one data set, you can have multiple, workbooks or multiple reports or multiple dashboards created. So this data set was created when I created some dashboard. But the problem, or you can say the beauty over here is, like, as many times you come here to this data set, you will get it the blank screen, right? You'll get a blank screen only, because as soon as you create report, it goes and saves into the report segment, right? Whatever you create here using that data set, you create a report, and as soon as you save it, it will go and save under this report segment. If you go back to the data source, data set, again you get a blank screen. So as many time you will come here after saving your report, you will get only a blank screen ready to be kind of utilized for your visualizations. Correct? Any questions here so far?
Yeah, I have one doubt here. If I develop any visual using the data set, whether it will be saved as dashboard or report, because what and all we do with the Power BI web service, it will shade as a dashboard only. You told no.
Okay. So over here, the screen what you get, it is similar to your Power BI desktop, and whatever you are going to create over here will be saved as your report, right? It says save this report. From this place, it will be saved as reports. You remember when we did quick insights and tried to kind of add those individual reports and charts into dashboard? It was giving
Yeah.
only It was giving only dashboard option. It was not giving any report option, right? It was saying pin to existing dashboard or new dashboard. But over here, this is going to be a report. So that's why as soon as you see here, it says save this report or save a copy of this report. It will not be known as dashboard.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So if I delete these data sets, will those reports also go, or those two are completely independent now?
No. So basically over here, what happens whenever we create these reports, right? these reports. Okay, I'm again in test workspace. Let me just go back to my workspace. Right. So what happens, let's say if you have created your report keeping your import functionality. Import functionality, when I say, like, import your data into the report. So those reports will be kind of uh, dependent on this particular data set. So for example, this is my report and this is my data set. If I remove this, definitely there would be some impact on this report, right? But yes, you can remove the report, there will be no impact on your data set, because report is always dependent on your data set. Let's say if you remove it and then you try to kind of refresh your report, obviously it will not refresh because underlying data set is not there. Okay, so data set, if you remove, your report will not function properly, or it can also get deleted. But if you remove the report, there will be no impact on data set. You can create another reports using the data set.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, right. So this was my workspace. Under this, we have reports, dataset, dashboard. I think pretty much these options. Okay. So reports, workbooks, datasets. Okay, fine, fair enough. So let me just, if you see here, like my workspace, if you go here and click on these things, see you have a report option, you have paginated report option, you have dashboard option, then dataset option and streaming dataset. What's the difference between these two? Dataset and streaming dataset?
Don't know any idea, but I think the streaming data set means if I get data from some live sources like from GitHub like that.
Streaming is generally, the source wherein you get a kind of real-time data, right? You must have heard about message queues, MQ, active messaging queues, RabbitMQ. Have you heard about?
Sorry, no.
Okay. So basically, see what happens in some applications. Uh, let's say you kind of process a lot of your data. So what happens? Those applications, they just store the request what you give, and then they process one by one. Let's say there is huge traffic of requests, so what they will do, they will store all the requests and they will process one by one. So even if, let's say if you place the request right now, it might take some time. After that your request will get processed. They basically create a queue of messages and then one by one they process it. So streaming data over here could be similar thing, wherein you keep getting the messages or maybe requests from any source. So as and when that gets processed, you get your data into Power BI, right? Or the data set will get created. Last option is upload a file. That will allow you to kind of upload maybe .pbix, your Power BI workbook. What is .rdl? What is RDL?
No idea.
Okay. Have you heard about SSRS?
Yeah.
SQL Server Reporting Services,
uh,
right?
yeah. SQL Server reporting
Right.
service. Yeah.
So in the SQL Server Reporting Services, whenever we create report, The extension type of those report is called RDL,
Okay.
right? Yep. And RDL, full form of RDL is Report Data Library. If it is Excel file, CSV file, or in Power BI, okay. So these are the different files which you can import over here. So you can create your report. Let's say if I click on create report, it is giving me the list of all the data sets which I have, right? It is giving me the list of all the data sets, workspace data sets. So you can choose any data set and then click on create. It will give you again the same page. And from here, you can do your visualization and come up with the report format. Correct? Now, let me just go back. Okay, what is the difference between report and paginated report? Can we convert one report into paginated report?
I'm not sure, but I think the page effort reported means in report means we have to scroll up and down. I think in the page native report means no need to scroll up and down, and we can fix everything in one page. But I'm not sure.
Paginated report, basically over here, they come up with some kind of add-in, but yes, it is similar to your Power BI desktop. So like in Power BI desktop, you create reports, right? You can have number of pages there, and then you can come up with a mechanism so that you can navigate between from one page to another. Now that can be maybe in terms of creating a action menu, or it could be kind of option to go from one page to another. Let me just look into that paginated report and I'll kind of share more details. As of now, like I have not set up it on my system, so I'll add that and then we can talk more about it maybe in tomorrow's session. Okay, that paginated report. But I'm pretty sure we can convert our all reports what we create here. We can convert them into paginated reports anytime, right? That feature is there, I'm pretty sure. But how to create it, I'll just kind of get this setup done and we'll take a look tomorrow. Dashboard, we already saw, like build a single page data story, like creating a dashboard using web service, we already did. Creating a data set, we know like if we have data set we can create report, but what about data set? Can we create data set in Power BI web service, right?
Yes.
So these,
Yes.
yeah, so these are the options over here which allow you to create data set. Now first two options which you get here, like my organization and then services, so that will allow you to kind of get data from when you select my organization. So it could be your applications used within the organization, right? If you say let's say get, you'll get different applications which are easily available or maybe used in your organization. So it says like you don't have any content from organization yet, but the applications you will get few. So these are the few applications which are available, but within your organization, like my organization, I I mean there could be application, but they are not mentioned over here. We have not kind of integrated those things. Let's say if those applications are integrated within Active Directory and our application, then those will appear here, right?
But
Web
is
apps.
there any commonly used applications by all the in real time actually?
Can you please repeat your question?
Is there any particular commonly used applications which are used in real time? Hello.
Yep. Actually, you are saying, is there any common, right? What are you
Uh,
asking?
No, I was asking, is there any commonly used application by all the organizations in real time?
Okay, if I'm getting your question right, you are saying that is there any common application which are used across many organizations? Is it?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, right. See, over here we are already on Microsoft platform, right? Whether it is Power BI or like the Microsoft. So things like, you know, the product of Microsoft, it could be, let's say, Outlook or some other applications which are actually common, right? Many people use that. So if your Power BI account and those applications are kind of integrated using your Active Directory or SSO, single sign on, then those applications will appear here,
Okay.
right? By default, they
Okay.
will not.
Okay.
Until unless there is no SSO, single sign on, those applications will not appear here. These apps, what you get here, these are just, again, I mean, these are the flexibilities, I would say these are the options available here. But as of now, if I select anything and go, it will not work because I need to install that application, then I need to configure it, then it will start working, right? Even if I don't have any data related to this one, then I will not get any data. It is just the connection what it will help me to create from here, right? Ultimately the
Okay.
data is required. So under organization, sorry, single sign-on is required to get that data. And then other Microsoft applications like web applications, Dynamics 365, Microsoft 365, Power Apps, and some other applications are there. Correct? So I'll just close it for a moment, right? This was my organization. If you go for services, you will get similar options once again. What I mean, if you click over here, you will get those applications once again over here, right? Same options. Earlier you were on my organization tab and now you are at apps, application tab, right? Rest of the things are still same. There is no difference. So whether you go by my organization or you go by, you know, services, it's going to give you the same reward. Then create new content, right? This is the way of creating data set is wherein you can add files. So if you click on get files, it is giving you the option like whether you want to get a local file, what file from your OneDrive business or personal, what type of, you know, account you have, and then SharePoint, sorry, yeah, SharePoint team sites, and learn about importing files. So these generally these options are there which will help you out to kind of get data into Power BI. So data set is all about creating your, you know, data or file which you can use to do the reporting. So let's say if you select local file, it's going to ask you that how to kind of connect. Maybe let me, okay, I connected to that Excel file. It says import or upload, right? Import Excel data into Power BI or upload your Excel file to Power BI. So for now, I'll say import. It will, okay. We couldn't find any data formatted as table. So maybe I don't know what file I selected, but if you have a tabular data over there, that file will get updated or it will get added over here. Now, another option, third one is databases. This was related to your file-based system. This is related to your server-based systems, like SQL Server. Let's say if I select SQL Server, but I don't have any Azure SQL at the moment. Okay, what is the difference between Azure SQL and your SQL Server? It says Azure SQL Server database. So what is the difference between Azure SQL and SQL Server on your local system? Nowadays, I mean, if you go for interview for SQL Server, people do ask, do you have any experience on Azure SQL? They will not say SQL Server, the standard tool what we used to get. Now, generally people ask like, do you have experience on Azure SQL Server or Azure Data Warehouse? So I would say like these are the again similar kind of SQL Server. The only difference is like it is hosted on Azure Cloud, and because it is on Azure Cloud, so connectivity things or maybe data handling, replication, backup, there are some differences, right? It is easy to manage. That cloud one, it is easy to manage. So these are the differences you will find into Azure SQL and all, and just read about it. It will help you for your interviews actually. Then apart from SQL Server, you have these other things wherein you can select, you can connect and create a data set. Okay, so these are the four ways. Basically, all are interrelated actually. First one is related to your organization application, then this is related to the services provided by Microsoft or different other applications. This is related to files, this is related to database. So by using either of any of these options, you can create your data set. Similar option you will get when you go ahead and create data flow, right? So you don't have any option for data flows over here, but once you go to workspace, then you get option here to create data flow. All other options will remain same, but within a workspace you get the option of creating data flows. It's not there in your workspace, test workspace. Sorry, not test. In your personal workspace you will not get data flow icon. The Do you know any reason why it is not there in the personal workspace and it is there in the shared workspace?
No, no, don't have any idea.
Anyone?
No.
Right. See, your personal workspace is as it sounds, right? Personal or my. You have only things which you can keep for your reference. If you want to share anything with other people, you cannot do it from your personal workspace. You need to move that into your shared workspaces, what you get under workspace option, this option, right? If you want to share with anybody. In case of data flows, there is a same anomaly that when you say data flow, actually you are getting data from outside. It's not even a file or located on your system. You are creating a flow coming from some other data sources. Then you are trying to transform that and you are trying to get the data into Power BI. So because it is already shared, that's why you don't get that option into your personal workspace. You get this option only in the shared workspaces, correct? Because it is already shared. Now under workflow, let's say if you say new and then workflows, it's kind of gives you these options like define new entity, link entity from other data flows, import data model, and attach a common data model folder preview. So basically you can entity. Okay, what is entity over here? in data flows, we have a term called entity, like define your new entity or create new entity. Okay, entity is like a table, right? I would not say it is a exact table as in SQL Server, but it's a kind of table or a referential data set. So if you just say click on new entities, what will happen? It is asking that what type of data source you want to connect, right? It's giving you option whether it is file based system or it is a server based system. So you get number of options over here. See, you can select any of these and then you can start getting data into Power BI. So maybe let's say if I select Excel, it is asking path or URL of that Excel file. And as soon as you do that, you give the path of that Excel file, you can connect to that file and get the data over here, right? Had I been, I would have selected SQL Server. It will ask you the SQL Server name and server details or authentication type, whether it is Windows authentication or SQL Server authentication. Accordingly, it will kind of share the remaining details with you. So you can give the name, you can give that how you want to connect, and then what type of authentication you want to use. In any data source, whether it is SQL Server or Excel file, it will ask for the authentication. Now, I'm not connecting anything right now. I'm just giving you overview. We can go ahead and connect one by one as we start. You have these many options over here. You can connect to any data source, create connection to that, and then you can start pulling that into your report, right? So that's how you create your data flow. So any questions as of now? I know there was a lot of theory, but any questions? Okay, so do one thing. I think mostly I have covered the things which are available here in Power BI web service. There are few things like gateway. I have not covered today because gateway, it will be a complete session on gateway itself. Like how can you create gateway, then how to get the data using gateway. Over here, you just see the option called manage gateways, right? So I'll talk about that, how to create a gateway, how to get data from gateway, and how to kind of manage that. So that's I'll kind of share in one all alone session. From like in tomorrow's session, what I'll do, I'll go ahead and connect to our data, and then we'll try to do some transformation activities into the data. So transformation activities, basically, once you connect to your data and go to, let's say, if I come here and you get table tools, you get modeling, and with that there is one transform, basically a screen like this, wherein you can see your table, different data types, profiling of each columns. So that is what I will go through tomorrow, right? So if you don't have any question, please revise all these things what we have covered in last 2 days, and make sure the Power BI is working on your system, so that from tomorrow we can start working on Power BI desktop. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, sure.
All right then. So I think that is all for today. I'll be sharing this recording, and Rahmat, I will kind of share the new link with you for this Mega Drive.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. All right then. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank
Bye
you.
everyone. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.